I hope you're having a good Sunday. Welcome to the weekend edition of the SA Morning. I'm Gareth Edwards. Jenna Lee is away for today. So you heard me waffle on about it before the break, but buying local is so incredibly important. It's also our viewer question for today. Let me remind you about our viewer question, and I'll tell you why I'm asking it. So it's the Buy Local Summit and Expo. It's kicking off tomorrow. Over 200 local exhibitors from textile, manufacturing, healthcare, and many other sectors showcasing their work. So I'm wondering, I want you to be honest here though, it's just me and you, is it easy for you to support local industries? Do you make an effort to go find them? A. B, do you even know where to get locally made products? Is it something that you actively do? And if you don't, and you'd like to, maybe we can try and help you do that. It's all under a theme. It's about localization and inclusive approach for all sectors of society to be contributing to the economy and to South Africa as well. Let's bring in, on top of all of this, from Proudly SA, Happy Makomalo Ngidi joining us to talk about this. And here we are again, buying local, talking local. We're going to get to the expo in a moment. Morning. Good to have you back on the show.
Good morning.
I knew I was going to talk to you, and I just wanted to just go back a couple of weeks when we were down at the State of the Nation address. There was a big call. You made that call. I think we might have even spoken about
it.
For MPs to wear local.
Correct.
What was the success? Did they?
Look, we were pleasantly surprised. I think by virtue of the fact that we brought in the local fashion police. The minute they heard police, they were like, let's behave. So there was a greater effort. There really was. It could have been better, but there was a greater effort. I think our message got through to where it was meant to get through to. And we can imagine that next year will even be a bigger, campaign that we do. It was a joint venture with Parliament. And when they gave it the thumbs up, we were, appreciated the opportunity. We've got to start somewhere. In fact, the president had been pushing the narrative for the last 3 years, 4 years. You'll remember the one day he said, the suit, the shirt, the shoes I'm wearing, never mind anything else, but what you see is made locally. And so he's been pushing that narrative. And I think, as we go on, we will see a bigger appreciation of what we're trying to do.
And don't forget as well, apart from State of the Nation address next year, you've also got the opening of Parliament with the next administration.
Yes, the inauguration.
It's not too long away. You've got the inauguration.
Yes,
so it's a good opportunity to have this conversation, because now I want to talk about the Buy Local Summit. How much interest is there?
There's a lot of interest. I mean, given what, the platforms we've used the whole week, reminding people and marketing this thing, there's a lot of interest. In fact, there's a lot of interest even outside of Gauteng, because people are saying, I would love to be there. It's a weekday. I've got to be at work. How else can I be part of it? And so we're live streaming to ensure that we include everybody who may be anywhere in the country. Big uptake. There really is. And I think there's a big shift. If we had been having this conversation about 7 years ago, I'm afraid I wouldn't have the answers. But we've seen, a journey. We've seen a mindset shift and change where there's a bigger appreciation of local product. In fact, what we do here when we do our researches and we do, different sessions and engage different people, private sector, public sector, even consumers, they're saying if they understood fully the impact of making a purchase in favor of local product and the economic impact there is, they would do it.
I want to talk about the commercialization of local products for a moment. We all know the big shopping malls, the big shopping brands. I just spoke to Massmart a moment ago, so for example, and I don't know what their business model is. I'm going to use them as an example. How easy is it for a local clothing manufacturer, let's go with clothing, a local clothing manufacturer to get their products into one of these bulk buying stores? Because I still get the sense, but this is why you're here to tell me I'm wrong or that I'm onto something, local still seems a bit niche. You got to know where to go. You're not going to get it from your local, I'm not going to mention a shop's brand, but your local big retail store.
Well, you could, and that's why we are here, to say to South Africans, you can actually get it from a local retailer. So in the clothing, textile, footwear, leather, context, you can think of, many retailers where you can actually walk in and get an outfit, be it a casual outfit, a red carpet outfit, a formal outfit, that kind of thing. You can. There's a bigger uptake, from retailers to ensure that South Africans have access to these local products from their own shelves. There's still a bit of a pushback, if you like, where the transformation or the opportunity given to local producers is not at the level where it should be.
Is that because of a price point?
There is.
It's not mass produced.
Absolutely, it's not mass produced, and retailers, some of them will say, I want to buy thousands of items because that's how my business model is structured. And some of our local producers are not able to produce that, and this is why we create, as Proudly South African, many access to market opportunities as opposed to just retail. There's a whole massive movement from an e-commerce perspective. For example, in the comfort of your home, you place your order, and before you know it, it's at your doorstep. But there's those consumers like me, actually, who prefer to walk into a shop, be able to engage with the product, touch it, feel it, try it on, and then buy it from there. And it is in the same spirit where, for example, you will have seen a few weeks ago, we took this industry to a fashion show in an aeroplane, to a consumer that was unsuspecting, who may not have time to go to a shopping center and see our local products, but they were, surprisingly, there was we brought the product to them in their comfort space, unexpectedly, so for them to be able to transact and buy the product. So, yeah.
I'm very glad you mentioned the online space. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
When it comes to Proudly SA, I don't just mean it as the company, as the business, as an identity.
Yes.
How do you compete with, for example, Shein, Temu, when things are so much cheaper? It's cheaper for me to buy it off my phone, as you mentioned, have it delivered. That's what made me think of it, Happy. Instead of buying local, I'm not even sure I can pick out a proudly locally produced item in one of those online platforms because I immediately go to Shein or Temu. I mean, that's a challenge for you.
Yes, it is a challenge for us, and this is that's exactly the reason why we've now collaborated with e-commerce platforms in South Africa. A number of them, not just one, but big ones that you can think of in South Africa, which I can mention now. And we're launching that project with them at the end of next month or in the next 2 months, where we're saying to South Africans, the time has come. You can go to your well-known e-commerce platforms that you get ordinarily, but we've now just incorporated into that a tab where you can tap on it, click on it, and it takes you to local produce.
Wonderful.
Finally, that's what we're doing with Proudly South African. Because we can't ignore the strength that e-commerce has, and then when we use our communication platforms where we engage with consumers, we're saying the best thing for you to do is to look. There's always a local placement for anything you want, be it clothing, be it the local car, whatever the case may be. And we always say the reality is if you do buy from Shein and you buy and it lands up on your doorstep and it's a size to fit a baby, which is not what you ordered, we can't chase Shein for you.
Yeah.
We don't know who he is. But if you buy local products, should anything go wrong, at least we engage with that local
I'm glad
provider.
you mentioned the e-commerce, and I'm glad you answered as to there's new tabs coming in very quickly. We've spent way too much time talking about the market.
You and I can talk forever.
The expo, very quickly. Just tell us where's it going to be taking place? Is it only for exhibitors? Can ordinary South Africans come? Give me the deets, I think is how the kids say it.
South Africans can come. Everybody can come. Anybody can come. Free registration. Just go to www.buylocalsummit and register. However, not everybody can exhibit. It is an access to market opportunity and a benefit for companies that are affiliated with Proudly South African. Pay a fee, we vet you, we make sure you don't import your product, that you make it in South Africa, where you prove that in the course of making your product, you have employed South Africans. Then you have carte blanche to use our logo on your product and market your product as a proudly South African product. And then come to the expo, beautiful setup where you've got about more than 200 locally made products from a lifestyle perspective, anything you can think of, and showcase your product at no cost to you as a member. But it's a beautiful space. There's the camaraderie, the appreciation of what South Africa has to offer, not because shame we feel sorry for the people that produce in South Africa, but because we are sure of the product we produce locally and that we can showcase to the world.
It's not a pity expo.
No, it's not a pity expo.
To be there.
Yes.
Happy. This is why you and I. That's why these conversations are always difficult. We actually talk about the entire industry and actually don't get down to the expo itself, which I'm glad Happy did for us at the end. My biggest thanks, as always, to Happy Makomalo Ngidi from Proudly SA. That summit taking place 25th and 26th of March down at the Sandton Convention.